Welcome to Will It Build, the series where I take your builds from my YouTube comments and Discord server and put them to the test to see if they are the real deal. If it's solid, then I'll gift you 1,000 silver, and if it's really something special, you'll be featured in a dedicated build video for your submitted build. So comment yours below so we can answer the question, will it build? Episode 20, this one, like, it was impossible for me to ignore this one. They're calling it Grape Ball Punch. It said, hey there, are you looking for something different from all the fruit punch and blue raspberry flavored builds this season? I'm assuming they mean Solar and Arc, but they say looking for a little more grape flavored, which I'm assuming is Void. Want to revisit a hood classic piece of armor with a new gameplay twist. Ever wanted to backhand a fallen so there's a lot of wants here. Let's say yes. Featured exotics, the Gerfalcon's Hauberk and Ruinous Effigy. For those who don't know, Ruinous Effigy is the trace rifle that's everyone in Destiny 2 forgot existed because, as far as I can tell, it is absolutely useless. Or maybe it's not. I'm assuming it's useless. I cannot remember the last time I used Ruinous Effigy. Final blows with this weapon collapse victims into void transmutation spheres. And then, of course, you can pick up the spheres and run around and whack people with them and dunk them and do a ton of damage. Transmutation spheres you create can be picked up and wielded as weapons by you or your allies. You can press left click to light attack, right click to do a suppressing heavy attack, which is the dunk, or you can press block, which will guard and drain nearby. Drain? What does drain mean? Does that mean like I get healed or something? This exotic, though, admittedly has some pretty cool ornaments. I mean, this looks sweet. Class Hunter, subclass Void, in parentheses Grape Kool-Aid. Super Dealer's Pick. I like it with Deadshot, but use blades if you want to side a fatal stab wounds with your punch. Very animated individual that made this post, I think. I'll go with Deadfall since they recommend it. Marksman Dodge, Triple Jump, and Vortex Grenades. Okay, so we'll switch our gamblers to Marksman. We got Vortex Grenades, we got Triple Jump. Cool. Aspects, Vanishing Step and Stylish Executioner, which makes sense to me because it's my understanding that Stylish Executioner is the Gerfalcon's Hauberk aspect. Obviously, when you come out of invisibility, Gerfalcon's gives you Volatile for void weapons, and when you kill volatile targets, you go invisible. Loops around, all that goodness. Fragments, the ones that matter the most are the Echoes of Cessation to generate void breaches with ease, Starvation for nearly infinite devour, and Reprisal for easy super energy from the AoE damage you can crank out. Slot number 4 is Dealer's Choice. So we got Cessation, Starvation, and Reprisal. Weapons, aside from our featured weapon, honestly use any grape flavored heavy and anything longer range for your kinetic slot. Okay, so we of course need to go ahead and slap on the Ruinous Effigy, which is a special weapon. So we're definitely going to want to use a primary ammo weapon in our kinetic slot, perhaps a scout rifle since they recommended something longer range. Armor mods, main ones that matter would be Special Ammo Finder and Harmonic Siphon on helmet, Charged Up on chest, Insulation and Double Void Weapon Surge on legs. This one is important if you want to see juicy damage, and then Reaper, Powerful Attraction, and Utility Kickstart on cloak. Right away, not liking what we've got set up here because they're saying we want Utility Kickstart and a double void weapon surge. All y'all that watch my build videos know that I am not a big fan of mixing blue and yellow armor mods because basically what we have set up here is we are punished for using our dodge, because using our dodge is going to strip us of all of our armor charge stacks so that we completely lose our void weapon surges. I'll go with it to start because it's what they recommended. At the end of the day, this is about testing their build, but keep an eye out. Make sure you watch the video to the end because I have a feeling we're probably going to mix that up to something else. So gameplay. Why all of whatever mess? What is this grammar? The gist of it is that the transmutation spheres are coded as void damage, so they benefit for our void siphon and they benefit for our void weapon surges, and apparently they also apply volatile, they proc devour, all that good stuff. So I think that's what they were trying to say with the 9 paragraphs that they wrote. But real quick, let's talk about a setup upgrade that you deserve. When I was a console gamer, I thought PCs were just a fad, but after 10 years of gaming on one, I have never looked back. With a PC, you just get way more storage space, significantly higher frame rates, and much better performance. So why not treat yourself to a Starforge system, the best PCs in the universe, built at premium quality and with a full 2-year warranty. Head to my link in the description to go buy yours now so you can thank yourself later. Alright, I'm gonna kill a dude to make the orb. I'm gonna go invisible before I pick it up. And then boom. Oh. So I made 2 orbs of power there. Oh, actually, I think I might have made an orb of power from Harmonic Siphon right there and from Reaper. Does this count as a weapon final blow? I think that's from Harmonic Siphon. That actually makes sense that the ball counts as weapon damage because it's generated from a weapon. So I think heavy-handed doesn't really make any sense. That's the first thing I want to find out. Is heavy-handed actually doing anything here? And if it's not, what do we go for our gloves mods instead? So we'll laser beam one of these guys, make the orb, pick it up, pop, and no orbs. Okay, so heavy-handed is doing absolutely nothing for us when it comes to making orbs. What happens if instead of the dunk, we just regular melee attack people? Is that going to count as melee kills? The melee damage is not particularly good. No orb. Yeah, no orb. So heavy-handed is pretty much useless with this. This build is presenting more questions than answers so far. Let's go ahead. We'll swap the heavy-handed. We'll go like bolstering detonation for now. We'll figure it out as we go along. Let's get another grape. Okay, what happens if I dodge? Oh, that's kind of problematic, because if we are holding the grape and then we dodge to go invisible through Vanishing Step, then we automatically lose the grape. It already makes me beg the question, would this be better with Trapper's Ambush instead of Vanishing Step? Because I have a theory that you could still do the quick fall of Trapper's Ambush, like the air move to go invisible, and it wouldn't take the grape away from you. Furthermore, you would then be able to make... Furthermore, you'd be able to make allies invisible as well, whereas Vanishing Step exclusively is a little bit more selfish of an option, because it just makes you invisible. There's no way to make allies invisible as well. Okay, how does this... How's this drain? Oh, so that's cool. The drain blinds everything. So you can pick up the orb and hold drain, blind everything that's around you, and then once you get low on ammo, then you can dunk. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that a lot. Hold up, give me this transmutation sphere. What's up, buddy? Am I invisible? Oh, the drain doesn't take you out of invisibility either. Interesting. Wait, this could actually work. I'm not gonna lie, when I first read it, I was like, what the heck is this build? This could work. Pick up the transmutation sphere. Do you heal while you're doing the drain? You do. It looks like I could hold the drain permanently because my ammo counter was like staying at 1. But I died, so I'm wondering, does the healing stop once your ammo counter gets to 1? Like the ammo counter is how much drain you have. Because look, I'm permanently healing right now. I'm standing in the fire and I'm permanently healing. Once it gets to 1. Okay, once it gets to 1, you're not gonna... Wait.
What?
I think it heals me if I have ammo, but then once I get to 1, if I continue to hold the drain, then it starts draining me. Grab this. Hold drain, which, yeah, drain definitely doesn't take you out of invisibility. And it's definitely healing me. Okay, but now I'm going to run away. I'm still holding drain. Yeah, it's damaging me when I drain, if I'm at 1 ammo. Okay, right away, I want to try out Trapper's Ambush to see if I can use it to go invisible while I'm holding the orb, because we already know that I cannot do that with Vanishing Step because it forces me to drop the orb. As a result, I then want to swap Marksman Dodge back over to Gambler's Dodge, because that will then give me a way to refresh my Smoke Bomb really easily after I use Trapper's Ambush to go invisible and then make use of the orb. I can then dodge next to an enemy to get the Smoke Bomb back to use Trapper's Ambush again. As a result, since I now prioritize and care more about melee energy, I think now I also want a copy of Momentum Transfer so that causing damage with my grenade reduces my melee cooldown. So after I've already used my dodge to get my melee back, I now have the option to throw a grenade to get melee energy back, to get my melee back again after I've already used my dodge. Yeah, this one, it's unique. I'll give them that. This is a very unique build. Pick up the orb, dive, and we're still holding the orb even though we dove and went invisible while we're already holding the orb. Which already I feel like is a massive improvement because it gives us way more versatility when it comes to invisibility. Okay, let's use this so we drain. So the strategy kind of seems to be either use invisibility to get in and kill all the enemies, or if you can get close to them and start using the drain to blind all of them and restore your HP while you're close to them, then you can just do that as well. And then once you're low on ammo and your drain is going to take health away from you as opposed to give health to you, then you can just dunk the orb and kill everything that you're next to. One thing that I'm struggling to make efficient use of, though, with this build so far is making sure that I'm getting my Falcon's buffs regularly utilized, maintaining Devour, so I think I need to focus a little bit more on that. So step one, let's go invisible so we can exit invisibility to get volatile with Falcons. We'll drain these enemies. Boom. That makes him volatile. That makes us invisible again, so we can pick up another transmutation sphere, and we're still invisible, which is great. And we can stay invisible while we're draining the next set of enemies. I wonder, does it blind them for a while or only while the drain is up? Is another thing I want to test. So I'm curious, if I do this, the wizard's blinded, and it looks like the wizard's still blinded. It looks like they're blinded for like 3 seconds even after I pull the drain field down. Which is sweet. So you don't even have to hold the drain field permanently to keep them blinded. You can honestly run around the arena with the orb holding drain and just like run past everything to blind it all for a little bit. So I can do this, run through everything, boom, everything is blinded now. And I can just keep sweeping back and forth. It's honestly like a crowd control build. I feel like I'm playing an MMO. I feel like I'm playing like a crowd control support role. Like I'm doing invis CC or something like that. Transmutation sphere, blind everything, dunk for a lot of damage. Interesting. Okay, okay, you know what? Don't read a build by its cover, huh? Shoot one of these thrall, go invisible, pick up the orb, hit some drain. The drain does damage too, so against squishy enemies, you're just gonna kill all of them. And then let's dunk. Kill another squishy enemy. We'll also make him volatile since we just exited invisibility. And that allows us to basically shut down this wizard. The drain's not very much damage, but it lets you just take enemies completely out of the fight. Where I'm worried about this build is when it comes to boss DPS. How's the damage just whacking? 877? 8764? It's okay, I guess. I wouldn't say it's anything to write home about. The dunk is 43,000, which is definitely much more sizable. The actual weapon damage itself from the gun isn't half bad, but I'm just not sure if the damage from the transmutation sphere would hold up in high-end content. It works if you're going from invis to invis, but that's about it. And if you always have a squishy enemy to kill to make your next transmutation orb. But if you don't, then you kind of end up screwed. But if you do, it actually works pretty well, because as you can see here, I'm kind of chaining dunks, invis, and then while I'm invis, I can find the next squishy enemy to go ahead and assassinate. Okay, so go invis. Then we'll hit a dunk. That should make me invis again, because it'll give me volatile when I exit for the dunk. Since I still have volatile, I can get a void weapon kill to kill the next enemy to make the next transmutation sphere. Dunk again, that'll make me invisible. Yeah, it works if you have a ton of squishy enemies to continuously run around and make new orbs with. But see, like, the damage right there on the wyvern is just not particularly incredible. I do like that you can do the block to blind them. That is pretty cool. But if you don't one-shot something with the orb, or you run out of invis, or you don't have a squishy enemy to make a new orb, it's a little tough. Another thing I just realized, too, because I was wondering for that, I was like, wait, why didn't I get a transmutation orb off of that wyvern? If your volatile kills the enemy, it doesn't count as a kill with Ruinous Effigy and therefore won't create an orb. So in some circumstances, you kind of get punished for having volatile rounds. You definitely do want the volatile rounds rather than not having them, because it allows you to continue have that invisibility chain through your Falcons. But it can result in just you not being able to get the next orb. It's also very frustrating in team play as well, because if you and your teammates are shooting at the same enemy and they happen to get the kill, then you know, sucks to suck, no transmutation orb for you. If I dunk it, does it give me all the power? Oh! Okay, so let's make our transmutation sphere invis, so we can exit it and get our Falcon's buff. This looks like a saucy pack of ads to go ahead and dunk on. See, like right there, either my teammate got the last bullet on the Harpy, or I hit it with Volatile and the Volatile killed the Harpy. And so as a result, I don't get the transmutation sphere. My other concern is that aside from the tether, this isn't really bringing a whole lot of tools for boss DPS. Go visible real fast. No transmutation sphere there for me, because I wasn't the one who got the final bullet. The fact that it's a trace rifle kind of hurts you because your damage is so incremental, whereas your teammates, if they're using not a trace rifle, their damage comes in chunks. So it's more likely that their chunk damage is going to be the thing that gets the final blow than your trace rifle. I mean, it's fun to use. I'm trying to think, what can we do to it that will make it useful in endgame content? That's what's going through my brain right now. I wonder if a more defensive-based exotic armor piece like Omnioculus would feel a little better with this. So you can play more into the invis power fantasy on demand instead of having to rely on, you know, always having to have squishy enemies. And then you could say goodbye to the volatile rounds, which can potentially rob you of being able to get a transmutation sphere if the volatile rounds get the final blow on an enemy. I think we've seen what we needed to see with this one. Will it build in lower end content? Yes. And it's a very, very creative build, which is why I want to call it a will it build winner. But I do want to emphasize emphatically, this is a lower end content build. In higher end content, one, you'll just get crushed because you don't have very much on demand survivability. And the transmutation spheres, you know, the drain, the healing, it is not enough to keep you alive and high in content. Sure, it will from the enemies that you're able to get close to because they'll be blinded, but any other enemy in the arena is going to blast you down while you're outside of cover holding the transmutation sphere. Additionally, Ruinous Effigy as a weapon and the transmutation spheres, the melees and the dunks, I just don't think they do enough damage to be super relevant in endgame content where enemies are tankier, and they don't do enough damage to be relevant against bosses. I will say that I had a ton of fun with this in the earlier waves where, you know, the enemies were kind of more on par with my level, where pathway 1 and 2. I thought this was super fun. It actually felt very useful. It felt very strong as well, and I liked the loop that it provided. But once we got into that wave 3, the wave 4 tier enemies, their light levels, they just get a little too high. So when you're looking at this for something like master raids, for GMs, for things of that nature, I don't really think it's going to be as feasible. However, for stuff where you're on level with enemies, I think that this is a very interesting way to play the game. And sometimes I think builds are not always about how good is this at clearing content, how good is this at decimating everything, but sometimes, you know, how fun is this? As always, if you have a build that you want us to try out on the channel, join my Discord server linked in the description below and submit it there. Come over to the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Mactics, see us test these out live. Hope to see you in here. Hope to be able to say hi to you. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.